They say that the new American dream is to leave, which, as an American who moved to Europe at age 21 to live and work in Germany, I find that phrase especially funny because I'm also half Nepali. My father's from Nepal, and so that's where all his side of the family is from. And he was the first one in that entire side of the family to move to America, and so I'm the oldest, and I was the first child to ever be born on US soil to have an American passport from birth. So, to my family overseas, right, that is the American dream. But then when I talk to other, born and raised Americans, they're like, oh, you're so lucky you got out of there. Now you're over in Europe. You're so lucky. When I or my parents talk to family that's still back over there in Nepal, and they're like, oh yeah, Sophia's in Germany. She's working in Germany. Family over there gets confused. They're like, why? Obviously, Germany is a fine place too. Lots of people want to come to Germany, but among people who want to move abroad, it's kind of regarded as like a second tier destination if you're not able to get to America or Canada or Australia or the UK. So me, the first child born on US soil, this, example of the American dream, and then I moved to Germany. I don't regret it though. I like it here.
I left America to live in a hut in a jungle. The reason I did this is because America is too expensive and it's too damn complicated. If you want to get an apartment, you have to have like a good credit score. You have to have 3 times the rent. You have to prove your income. And if you're an entrepreneur like me and you have medical debt because unfortunate things have happened to you, then you're basically screwed. You have to live with people. It's really expensive, so you have to end up shacking up with different people. But when I moved here, you got cash. You can just get whatever you want. You don't need a credit score. You don't need to prove anything. You just pay and you get to play. And plus, that's super cheap. A house is $3,000 in America a month. That thing's $300. Plus the ocean and the beach is right down the road. I got friends here, karaoke every single night, fresh buku juice, mangoes, drinking beer on the beach. Best move I ever made was leaving America, and I'm never moving back.
The new American dream is to leave. For the first time since the Great Depression, more people are leaving America than moving in. And this is not just deportations. American citizens are leaving in record numbers. Over 180,000 left last year alone, and that is only counting for 15 countries. Millions more have already left. But this is not surprising. In 1956, economist Charles Thibault proposed that people vote with their feet. When communities offer different bundles of taxes and public goods, people move to the one that best fits their preferences. You don't like the high taxes in California, you move to Texas. You want better schools, you go to Massachusetts. His model assumed that people were choosing between American cities, but now people are leaving the country behind completely. Americans are voting with their feet for European healthcare, affordable housing, safer schools, and higher quality of life. When 1 in 5 Americans are now saying they want to leave, that is not just migration, that is a market signal. Millions of people are revealing that America's bundle of taxes and public goods is no longer competitive. The country that built itself as the ultimate destination is now losing the competition they invented. But my question is, how long until we make the countries we are fleeing to unaffordable? And are we just exporting the problems that caused us to leave in the first place? Let me know what you think in the comments.
I get asked all the time, why would you leave the USA to come to Africa? Or specifically Namibia, if it's a Namibian asking. I realize a lot of people don't know the experience of what a Black American looks like. But the first answer is, it's spiritual. This is the land that my ancestors are from. I am from African ancestry, and this is where I believe I belong. My ancestors came from here. They didn't come because they wanted to be in America. They came because they were taken as captives, prisoners of war. And that is a different thing than if they had decided, if my ancestors said, I love America, I love this land, I want to go there. Maybe that's a different thing. Maybe I'd have a different spirit about it. But at this point, I felt a deep spiritual call, and my husband as well. We felt a deep spiritual call to be in this land. And it was a spiritual call we could not deny for any conveniences that we might have had in the States. So we achieved the American dream in the States. We worked very hard. We both came from families that were hardworking people that had to work from the bottom to the, to get to college and to achieve our dreams. And then we were able to save up enough money to be able to make this move, which is expensive and risky. And it takes a lot of money to do that. But we achieved the American dream, and we took our American dream dollars and brought them to Africa to reinvest here. And that means a lot to us. And again, that's a very spiritual thing to do. And for those who don't really understand what it meant to be a Black American, I mean, it's very tough to tell that story in a TikTok. But America in and of itself is not the place it's propagandized to be. It's a place with a lot of challenges and problems. There's a lot of poverty in America. People in America are poor. They live on the concrete on the street, and it's illegal to live on the street. So they can be arrested for sleeping on the street. There are a lot of shootings and things like that. There's a lot of death that we witness to the point that we're desensitized to it. I remember taking my husband to my hometown, and we went to go visit my aunt. And across the street from my aunt, there was a clear crime scene. And I asked my aunt what happened. She's like, "Hey, baby, I'm so glad to see you guys. But good to see you too. But what happened across the street?" She said, "Oh, I think a little kid was killed. But I got some food for you." And I'm like, okay. We just kind of had to ignore it. And the whole time we're looking at each other like, there was a murder across the street. They're still sweeping it up. And she's just like, "Oh, yeah, it's fine. I'm glad you're here. I haven't seen you in years. I miss you." And I'm like, okay, this is America. This is what it looks like. I mean, it's all of the above. It's wealth, and it's extreme poverty, and it's murder. I remember I was hosting an event, and that morning I had to run. I was trying to rush to go get some sodas and stuff from Walmart. And there had been these news stories about this Walmart shooter. And I remember seeing the stories, but I was like, I still got to go to the grocery store. So I got up that morning to go to Walmart. And then I'm behind this car, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm so mad because I'm rushing. The police are pulling somebody over, and there's so many police I can't even get around it or anything. And then it turns out they open the trunk, and there's a bunch of big guns in the back of the car. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm behind the Walmart shooter on the way to Walmart. We were both on the way to the same store at the same time. Oh my gosh. That's life in America. That was life in Colorado, the birthplace of school shootings. And again, America has both of the things. It has beautiful things. It has places that are as beautiful as what I'm in right now. And it has places as dark as what you would think hell might look like. They literally have places named after hell in America. Rightly so, because they're dark places. So it goes it goes every direction in that country. So there's no one America. There's no one American experience. There's really no one Black American experience. So I say all that to just say, what you believe America is may not be accurate, and that is part of the reason people can't even believe why anybody would want to leave. Why would you want to leave the USA? It's got to be the best place ever, and it's not necessarily the best place ever. And then people that don't know about Africa will say, "Why would you go to Africa? It's not a great place. Like, why? It's in poverty. It's a third world country." And I'm like, Africa has many countries, and it's not a third world continent. And even the third world has some amazing features and beauty and beautiful people and culture. And being third world, which is a very old concept, just means not like what you knew, not industrialized the way you knew it. Poverty exists just like it is in America. I have fed people on the street in America. I have seen starving children in America. And so I know that it exists in both places. So, I'm not trying to minimize anything. I'm just trying to remind people that haven't been to Africa that there are many, many parts of Africa. There are many, many experiences in Africa, just like in the States. So just like in the States, you can be in poverty in the United States, have very little, live in a dilapidated house. You can, in Africa, live in poverty in a dilapidated house. and scrimp and scrounge for food. You can also be very wealthy and live in a giant house, and have an abundance of everything that you'd ever want living in Africa, and for a lot cheaper than you can get it in America. Just saying, you know. So the experiences that we're talking about, there's diverse experiences everywhere. So don't discount, the experience of a person and what guides and leads them. I'm guided by spirit. And so my guidance is in here. And my guidance tells me this is the place I need to be. This is my home. And I'm happy to be home.
You know what's crazy? Growing up, everybody used to say the American dream. Like, if you make it to America, you've made it in life. But now, I'm seeing something completely different. People who are actually in the United States are saying their dream now is to live. It's official. The American dream is to leave America. At first you may think, no, this is actually exaggerated. They are just content creators. But the more videos I watch, the more stories I see, people working full-time jobs, still struggling to survive. Some are even living in their cars. Not lazy people or people who don't want to work. People with jobs. We are talking people with jobs. That's when I realized something is not right. So let's subscribe and continue watching these videos, and then I'll be back with more reactions. Full credits to the original creators of these videos. Thank you.
Why I want to leave the US.
Why do I want to leave this nation of ours and live somewhere else? Where's better? Well, I still haven't done the research for where's better, but let me tell you why I want to leave. I want to leave because I don't want to live in a place or raise my children in a place that bans books and websites and words that can be used in research. I don't want to live in a place that's censoring our media so badly that we don't know what's going on in the rest of the world. I don't want to live in a place with terrible health care. I don't want to live in a place where childcare costs more than my mortgage. I don't want to live in a place where my daughter will not have as many rights as I did or my mother did. I don't want to live in a place that RFK Jr. is in charge of any type of health service, ever. I don't want to live in a fascist oligarchy. I don't want to live in a place that makes the CDC stop giving us information and drops out of the World Health Organization.
Hold my hand, my love, when I say this. They're trying to trap us in the United States. They don't want us to leave the United States, but yet they don't want us here. Make that make some type of sense, bro. Eventually, our passports aren't even going to be able to be accessed across the country. I saw a video of this dude who got to Thailand and then got deported back to America. Like, what the? Are you kidding me? Like, bro, the American dream is to leave America, and they're catching on. So stay safe, y'all. I love you.
Leave America now was in capital letters at the top of my search bar as soon as I opened TikTok, and apparently a lot of other people's too. And I am traveling Addie, so I have some advice for you. I have some suggestions on places that you can go. I just got done snowboarding, so this is why my hair looks like this. As US citizens, we can very easily go to Canada, and we can also very easily go to Mexico. From Mexico, we can go for 6 months, but from within the United States, you can apply for temporary residency. There are some financial requirements associated with that, so that could be a little bit of a hiccup for some people for the temporary residency, but either way you can go for 6 months. You can do that from within the United States, or you can do it from within Mexico. You can extend it up to 5 years, which at point you can apply for permanent residency or citizenship. So those are really great options for you that are really, kind of close to here. Other really good options are the countries of Albania and Georgia. As US citizens, we can just go to either of those for an entire year. They're not part of the EU. They're not part of the Schengen zone. I don't say that correctly. I know that. Because of that, we can go there for a year. We don't have the 90-day limitation. Anyway, between all those options that I just gave you, it very easily gets us to 2028 when we're supposed to have another election.
This is something we got to talk about. United States citizens are leaving the U.S. and going to other countries. Whether it's Ghana, whether it's Thailand, whether it's Tokyo, you're starting to see it more and more. This is not a drill. This is happening. And for whatever reason, people are pretty much giving up on the American dream for whatever reason. And what I've personally seen from the videos is everybody's happy. And at the end of the day, that's what you want to be. You want to be happy. You don't want to be somewhere where you're miserable, you're struggling, and it's just killing your vibe. But we really gotta, I think this is something we gotta start talking about. People will come to America because America was what they would say the American dream. And I think the American dream is now turned into the American nightmare. And when you look at these other countries, if you're cultured enough, you'll see that, man, the places are beautiful. They have the same thing, if not more. The prices split in half, probably less than split in half. And you get a lot more. But it's just weird. We have these politicians in place right now who are just really turning this shit into a third world country. Like when you have US citizens that decide to say, you know what? Fuck this place. I'm out. And just uproot their entire life and go to another country that they have no clue about, and they're taking the biggest risk. But when you look at them a year, 2 years later, they're extremely happy. You got a serious problem here on the US soil. That's a real problem. Just something to think about. Hopefully this is helpful to somebody. Chris with the Gems.
Hi guys, I just wanted to post about my life here. I live in Costa Rica. I used to live in the United States. I lived all over. I grew up, born and raised at LA, city girl, beach girl, and the city really changed. It became expensive. I started working so much just to get by. I couldn't save any money. I could never buy a house in LA County. They're $1 million for like a shack where you could get shot at, okay? So I moved to Minnesota, North Carolina. I was moving around and just terrible, like just didn't match my values, still not getting where I want to go. I just don't like the political system and just felt like I was not going to ever get to a place where I could really be okay. So I was stressed out. And so I sold everything I own. I visited Costa Rica first, and then I decided this is it. I sold everything I own, and now I work 15 hours a week. I live here. I live down the street from this. I live a block from the beach, and I love my life. I save thousands every month working 15 hours a week. Facts. I have a peaceful morning. It's 8:30. I'm not doing shit. I don't own a car. I own a golf cart, and my life is just easier. I have community. I have friends. I have joy. I bought land. I built a house. Cash. So I have no mortgage. So I live on like $1,000 a month. Well, there's nothing to do here but go to the beach and go out to eat. So you just basically do that. And if you get sick of it, people are like, don't you get sick of it? And I'm like, yeah, I have money to go on vacation. You know, money. Things I didn't have before. I live in Costa Rica, so I've been to Nicaragua for like $100 to get there. I went to Guatemala for $100, staying $17 a night at different hotels. I've been to Panama like 5 times, to the little islands, Bocas Islands. Isn't that fabulous? Gone paddleboarding and things like that. I used to be a lifeguard, so, you know, I needed me some beach. I needed me some water. There's waves, then there's not waves. You can paddleboard, you can surf. I'm just chilling. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to find your version of that. So if true, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, Sword Alexis, my late name backwards. Global manifesting is something I'm creating to help other people do this, because I don't need to do it, honestly. I don't need to do it. But it's like being at a party by yourself. You know, I made it, but there's not a lot of people here with me. People living their life of joy and peace and time and community and friends and fun and all that stuff. Like, I want you to have it too. Alrighty. Love ya. Namaste.
I had just made the executive decision that I will be permanently leaving the United States in less than a year and a half. Say what you will, but this is every reason I have of why I want to leave. Let's speed run this shit. Number 1, if you're not making at least $150,000 a year or more, or at least have multiple streams of income, congratulations, you will be struggling for a very long time. Rent is incredibly expensive. It is almost impossible to buy a house. People cannot afford to rent an apartment or to live by themselves. Wages have been decreasing. Insurance is a scam. Healthcare and insurance has went up, and millions of American citizens no longer have healthcare. Many of the jobs online that you can apply to are fake. Hundreds of thousands of people are losing their jobs. Inflation keeps increasing, and all the administration has to do is blame Biden for it. Number 2, racism is extremely belligerent all across the United States. Not just towards black people, but for other people of color who isn't a white Christian. Black people and other people of color are losing their rights, their equality, and their freedom. Asians, Hispanics, Arabs, Muslims, the list goes on. This country is incredibly hateful, spiteful, and the only thing they do is blame others for their downfall. Since the beginning of 2025, based on records, 7 black men has been found lynched. Still no justice for any of them to this day. White supremacists, Proud Boys, Nazis, they're out there marching, chanting out in public while our government, our president, and our law enforcement does nothing about it. Number 3, we are completely controlled by Israel and billionaires. We fall under an oligarchy. But hey, at least Elon Musk will become a trillionaire, right? Number 4, since the beginning of 2025, there has been 75 school shootings. 53 are dead, while 148 were injured. There has been 84 mass shootings, not including school shootings. The death count is still climbing to this day. Number 5, bombing and going to war with unnecessary countries. Iran, Venezuela, need I say more? Number 6, tariffs. They have done nothing but make the American citizens' lives harder. All it did was make everything more expensive. It was supposed to bring back jobs to the United States, but we're actively losing them. Number 7, our administration and the government has severely defunded the education system. Colleges, high schools, even Ivy Leagues has been severely defunded. So much so that they don't even have enough money to give out scholarships to the kids who rightfully deserve it. Number 8, tax breaks, not for the average American citizen, but for billionaires and anyone else who is making over $250,000 a year. Anyone else who falls under that bracket, congratulations, you're getting taxed more. And number 8, insurance company has the absolute right to decline you of any services if they don't feel like paying it to you. If you get cancer, break an arm, maybe get sick or something else happens, maybe a car accident, they can look at that shit and go, nah. Or better yet, they could just flat out cancel your insurance claim or your account. Number 9, maternity leave fucking sucks in the United States. The most you'll ever get, especially after you've gave birth, is maybe 2 months. Most likely less. Remember, you're a slave to the corporation. You don't actually have freedom. Pay time off, sick leave, just about. You get hardly any of that. When you have accumulated at least 2 weeks of vacation time in the last 3 years alone, they will do everything they can to keep you from not taking it. What can I say? That's American corporations, right, America? Number 10, there are American celebrities and billionaires, including multiple people who hold a chair in the government affiliation and power, are human traffickers. Number 11, America doesn't have universal health care. That's a big one. So if you get sick, have cancer, break a leg, maybe get shot, guess what? It costs you an arm and a leg to get better. I still have like 10 more, but I'm not going to do that. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. America's the greatest country in the world.
Rumor has it that the new American dream is to exit the United States of America. If you are needing a sign from the universe to leave the United States, here it is. The U.S. State Department has announced as of April 13th, 2026, the former filing fee to renounce your citizenship has gone down significantly. It used to be $2,350 to now only $450. If you at any point in your life has ever thought of leaving the United States, here is your sign for a whopping $450. Please note that there is 11 million pending applications at USCIS right now that are willing to take your place one by one. So choose wisely. If you cannot see that this president will be your president for the next 3 years, please find the exit door. Safe travels.
Welcome back. So the biggest thing I keep hearing is the cost of living. Rents high, food very expensive, healthcare don't even start. Like, imagine working every single day and still feeling like you are one emergency away from being broke. How stressful can that be? And it's not just 1 or 2 people complaining, it's a lot of Americans. You'll hear them say things like, I can't afford to live here anymore, I'm just surviving, I'm relocating. Many Americans are actually leaving the US, and that hits different because America is supposed to be the place where you thrive, the American dream. So now the mindset is actually shifting very quickly. Instead of saying, I want to move to America, people are saying, where can I move that's cheaper? Where can I move for a better quality of life? Places like Mexico, Portugal, even parts of Asia, where your money actually stretches, where life feels lighter. People are moving there, and it's crazy because this is the opposite of what used to happen years ago. Actually, what's really standing out in all of this is not just the idea of some people having to live in their cars. It's what their daily life actually looks like. Imagine waking up not in a bedroom, but in a parked car. First thought isn't what's for breakfast. It's, did anyone notice me sleeping here? You have to plan everything: where to park, where to shower, where to charge your phone. Your life is actually different from what you are used to. Something as basic as using the bathroom becomes a daily challenge. And then the craziest part, you still have to go to work. You still have to show up, look normal, and be productive. While carrying the stress of not having a real place to come back to. And most people around you wouldn't even know because you learn to hide it. You learn to blend in. And that's what makes this situation so heavy. These are not people outside society. They are people holding it together. Barely. Another thing is that a lot of Americans are just tired. They are mentally tired. The hustle culture there is intense. People doing even 2, 3 jobs, work, bills, repeat, no real balance. And some people are starting to question, is this even worth it? Is this what life should be like? Because what is the point of making money if you don't even have time or peace to enjoy your life? You are just working to pay bills. From a perspective, this is actually very interesting to watch because for a long time, many of us outside of the United States saw it as the ultimate goal. But now, the people inside are showing us the reality. And it doesn't mean America is bad. It just means life there is not as easy as people think. And it's not getting better every day because every country of course has its own struggles, but this idea that America automatically equals success, yeah, that's starting to fade. So now the big question is, if the American dream is no longer about staying, what does the new American dream look like? Is it freedom? Is it peace of mind? Or is it simply being able to afford a normal life, a peaceful life, a stress-free life? Because at the end of the day, that's what people are really looking for nowadays. Not just money, but a life that actually feels worth living. Let me know what you think. Would you still move to America today, or do you think the dream has changed? Is it better to wait out and see how things go? This conversation is getting very real. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please make sure you subscribe because this channel is about this type of conversations that affect us in our daily lives. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, also share it. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.